Welcome back, my wonderful human beings, to another episode of About Shadows and Sunshine. I'm your host, Vanessa, and I'm so grateful that you're here today. And before we start, if you haven't subscribed yet to the podcast, please do that. And if you got some time left, I would be so grateful if you would leave some feedback or just anything. Let me know what you're thinking about the latest episodes of the podcast, and feel free to write some comments. Today's topic is what I said in the last episode. What is real narcissism? What does the term mean, and why are there so many different explanations of the term and what a narcissistic person really is? Because many of the explanations that I've seen on the internet is a bit wrong, and some of them are just very casually about toxic people. But a toxic person is not a narcissist. These two can be totally different, and the difference is how they act. And as a person who grew up with a narcissistic parent, I know the difference from firsthand. And with this episode, I want to explain the word and its meaning. Let me adjust. Okay, I'm back. Now I'm here in the dark with my little candle, and I think it just feels so much more like autumn right now. So what is the origin of the term narcissism? It actually comes from Greek mythology. The story goes that a man named Narcissus fell in love with his own reflection, so much so that even the love nymph named Echo could not distract Narcissus from his self-admiration. And according to the myth, Narcissus rejected the advances of the nymph Echo and was punished by the gods. He became so engrossed with his own reflection that he eventually died from unrequited love. The myth was later used by psychologists to describe individuals with a personality disorder characterized by self-obsession, a need for admiration, and a lack of empathy. The term narcissism was coined in German by a psychiatrist in 1899, based on the Greek name Narcissus, and the suffix ism denotes the practice of adherency to something. There is a clear difference between the narcissistic personality disorder and being a narcissistic person. And I think people often believe self-love is narcissistic because they don't understand the term. Because a healthy amount of narcissism is actually good for your self-worth in reality. That means strong self-worth based on real experiences, self-trust as an ability to use your strengths to reach personal goals, having empathy for others, relationships based on respect, the ability to accept and reflect about criticism, and a lot of ambition and willingness to perform without arrogance or exploitation of others. This is healthy narcissism. Anything else talks about personality disorder. I just wanted to really make this clear. People who suffer under that disorder are mostly very self-centered. But here's the big turning point. Da-da-dum. They don't love themselves. They are addicted to the admiration of others, to their attention, to controlling and manipulating them. They are not able to reflect over critique and react with anger or isolating themselves when somebody criticizes them. They are not able to feel empathy for others. They mostly talk others down to stabilize their own self-worth. And now I want to talk about how narcissistic people affect you as a kid and how it is in terms of a loving relationship. Firstly, a narcissistic parent might bind their love to conditions, as having good grades or reaching other accomplishments, a withdrawal of affection. If you express your own needs, idolizing you in one moment but calling you ungrateful the next, also blaming you for not reaching all the accomplishments or the simplest things. Here they cannot take any blame on themselves, because that would destroy the reflection of their perfect self that they created. Another point is controlling others through shame or guilt, to give them affection. With my parent, it was enough to say that he was right and to take all the blame on yourself to make them feel like someone special, while this behavior is just pathetic and very harmful, in my personal opinion. So what happens if a child has to grow up with a narcissist? They learn that love is not safe and has to be earned. Emotional abuse, especially the subtle long-term kind, actually changes the brain chemistry caused by the experience of affection and rejection. As the person leaves you, the body releases cortisol, also when love is withdrawn. When they come back to you, the brain releases dopamine, the reward chemical. Also when you get their approval or love. This reward system is very addicting and happens in toxic relationships or trauma bonds as well. A trauma bond is created from strong emotional attachment between a victim and the abuser, a person that is both a source of love and pain all at once. This type of relationship trains the nervous system to chase their love and crave attention. In terms of a loving relationship, you probably found yourself seeking the love of emotionally unavailable people, because it felt familiar somehow. Because we unconsciously think, maybe this time they will love us or that we can fix it. What made it so hard for myself to see how much abuse really happened. I also didn't realize how beneficial a new environment and no contact to that person is, because it was unfamiliar for me. And letting go can feel very scary, but sometimes it is the first step for healing and choosing ourselves. Let's take a deeper look into how the system works. First, an unexpected reward, a warm moment after coldness releases dopamine. In the trauma bond, the reward comes unpredictable. This inconsistency makes the brain keep scanning for the next moment of relief and intimacy. The brain shifts into a chasing mode, trying to predict or trigger the next good moment. I also remember how I was trying to make them love me or to change myself as a kid, because I was like, yeah, if I am like how they want me to be, then they will love me, won't they? But actually it never happened, and I was never enough for them, because no one is enough for them. Only the person itself is enough for them, probably, if they even have a sense of self or anything like that. Coming back to how all of this works, the bonding hormone, oxytocin, which is involved in getting attached to closeness and social connection, is very present in the emotional highs. And this hormone strengthens the bond even when the relationship is harmful. The way this creates a tension between acknowledging the abuse but the brain wanting to connect, where oxytocin hinders us from really letting go or detaching from the trauma bond. This cycle also affects the nervous system. The harmful and neglectful moments trigger cortisol, the brain associates anger, fear, shame, and pain with the same person that can give you warmth. This stress response can become chronic in terms of hypervigilance, anxiety, or emotional reactivity. Obviously, this affects the amygdala, the fear and emergency center of the brain. It gets more reactive. And the prefrontal cortex, the system to regulate impulses, reasoning, and control, becomes less effective. If a bond like this is created in an early age, the neural circuits built around threat detection, attachment and reward becomes overused or sensitized to these relationships. This makes it hard to detach as an adult. This type of childhood trauma often leads to memory bias. The brain replays the good moments and minimizes the harmful events. As many of us may have experienced a feeling of confusion, craving that person's love or withdrawal while detaching. This happens because these dynamics are so addictive to the brain. But the pretty side is that as fast as we see the brain change into an overstimulation or sensitivity for danger and love, it can also be formed into healthy dynamics as well. As I was in therapy, my therapist and I really talked a lot about these dynamics and how to heal from it or how to react in situations when you lose control because of that person. And I developed a system for it. The first thing is when they accuse you or blame you for anything, you have to stay in yourself. You have to be self-centered, grounded in yourself. You have to make clear to yourself that you don't need to share their opinion. It is okay to have a different opinion about yourself or about anything else. And when you come back to yourself with your focus, you're not emotionally attached on the words they are saying anymore. So in that moment, when you get back to yourself, or when you tell yourself probably an affirmation like, I am not alone, or I love myself no matter what happens, I am with myself, you stop this moment of losing control to them. And we talked about asking ourselves, what is it that is important for me right now? And you have to ask that yourself. So then you come back to the here and now and you remember, oh, what this person is saying right now is not where my focus should be. And the moment you answer that in your mind to yourself, you can detach from what they are saying and make other things your priority. And that is exactly how this works. To not focus on the words they are saying and to stop these neurological patterns from developing to the manipulation that you're experiencing. And that was just something I really wanted to share with you guys because it is something that really helped me back then, trying to not react to this. But there's also another point. The moment you learn to set your own boundaries, these people become very irritated. And I tried a method the Wizard Liz also said in her videos that was like, when somebody is doing anything wrong to you that crosses your boundaries, be dramatic, like overdo your expressions and be loud. It is kind of like overpowering that person in that moment. And there was one time when this person threw something at me and I was like, why are you doing this? And I was directly reacting to them in that moment. And they were so irritated. Of course they blamed me and still said harmful things. I don't remember what they actually said anymore, but the point is, that broke the cycle of it. You have the choice to stand up for yourself or to just ignore it. And sometimes you don't have the power to fight against them. And that is okay. It is okay to say nothing. It is okay to just ignore them and just let them talk. It's just like, I don't know, birds flying around butterflies. But you don't hear them. Because what they are saying is just, it's not important. And let us talk about how we can heal from this. Also, a very, very important thing that is often mentioned by many people, I've written about this a lot of times, getting into healthy relationships, getting into relationships that are really, really safe. And I'm not talking about this in a loving way, but in a way of friendship or family members, a person that you just really trust, that you can open up to and that you feel safe with. Because if we remember this type of safety, then we will see the abuse and everything else just so much clearer. We will see that this person is not trustworthy and that they are not safe for us. And that makes it easier to leave or to set boundaries because we have something to compare. We have a relationship that we can compare to them. Of course, if you have the ability to leave them, no contract is very, very helpful and so healing. It was for me, it doesn't have to be for you. Some of us can make peace with them or learn how to live with these people. But you have to put yourself first, and if this relationship isn't beneficial for you, you have to leave them for your own goods. And later on that way, I really worked on educating myself about this personality disorder because I didn't understood it. I was like, why are they acting this way? This is so unusual, and I didn't understood why they did these things to me and everything. So I educated myself about it. I read articles, I read books about it, I watched videos about it, and now I'm talking about it as you hear. And it is not easy, but it will answer to your questions that you have in your mind. And I believe that is more than they could have ever given to you, because you won't get these answers from them. You can just explain it to yourself. And as I said with myself, I did a lot of inner work, working with the situations and with all the trauma that happened, talked to my therapist about it, and shadow work and journaling is also a huge point that really helped me healing. I believe that these are like the steps to just, you have to get help, you have to take one step at a time and find yourself again, because it is so easy to lose yourself in dynamics like this. It's so easy to lose hope and to get depressed when you are with a person like that. So please don't give up your hope. You will make it out of there, and I believe in you because I did it too, and I'm sure you will make it, okay? So don't worry, and also try to make money on your own, to be independent. These things are so important. Like detaching from them, separating yourself from them, so that this person doesn't have so much control over you. Because that is their power. If they don't have control over you, you can just leave. And they will lose you. And then they will be alone or just find another victim. Well, we don't hope they will do, but the most people that have this personality disorder, they don't see how they should be changing, that they should get help. And before I broke up contact to that person, I really tried everything to change. I tried everything to help them, but nothing worked because they just can't reflect on things. They see themselves as, an ideal version of a human being or whatever, like somebody that is ahead of everyone. But they are actually living a lie, because this personality is not true. Yeah, they are human too, but probably they can't see it. I don't know what they think they are, but it's just something different than we are, because Oh, it's normal to make mistakes if you didn't remember that. It's part of this experience called life, and it is totally fine if you make mistakes. And if you don't feel that you're worthy on every day, it is okay. We all do that, and you are not different because you don't feel like you are making everything perfect and because you can't accomplish everything you want all at once. That's not how it works. And sometimes we get protected for the best. Sometimes things don't work out, and that is okay. They don't have to work out sometimes, because the universe is just protecting us from proper damage and from getting hurt or whatever. It's just protecting us. And you don't have to make everything right. You don't have to please them every time. It is okay if you are this version right now. It's okay if you just sit there and think about your life, and if you just enjoy this moment, because this moment is all we have. So thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And what is coming in the next episode, because I'm sorry you have to wait a bit longer for the next one, but you will receive a message from me on Christmas. So yeah, I'm happy to surprise you guys with an episode on Christmas, because I really want to dedicate that episode to all of you who feel alone on Christmas, or who just don't have so much family, or who are living alone and don't have anyone on that day. So yeah, I will be here supporting you. If you're depressed right now, it's okay. If you don't feel good enough, it's okay. This is part of this life, and we will all get through this together. You're not alone. So see you in the next episode. Have a wonderful time, my angels, and yeah, see you next time. Bye bye.